Hello and welcome. The Switch 2 has officially been announced. Old news, we've all seen it. I don't really have a lot to say about the Switch 2 specifically. We just got so many leaks to the point that the announcement trailer really didn't hold anything special for me. I was really sad about it. I wish I had seen 0 leaks because I know I would have been really excited. Also, the Switch 2 was just kind of the natural next step for Nintendo, in my opinion. The Switch was really successful, really well thought out. It worked super duper well. But, you know, the next step is just, what do? We take what worked really super well and then we step it up a notch. And I think that will probably be reflected in the price and the performance, honestly. Now, all that being said, the next Animal Crossing game feels real, feels closer than ever, feels like we're on the cusp, you know? Of course, it's been upcoming this entire time, I'm sure ever since they stopped production on New Horizons, they had an idea bank and stuff rolling for the next Animal Crossing game, honestly. This video is purely for fun. It is wish list, random ideas, mild predictions based on nothing. This is not leaks. This is not anything that's been secretly somehow data mined. This is legitimately just a girl and her microphone and fun Animal Crossing ideas. Some of them are not even close to realistic, okay? I want to throw that out there. So I have my big old list of ideas here in front of me, and I want to start with talking about the setting. We have seen forests, islands, towns, something that is always very ideal, very sweet, very cozy, a walkable town, living in a cute little forest, starting your life over fresh on an island. The specific setting itself is not crazy important. I think what is important is that it is simple and idealized and something that you feel like you have control over. That is really what makes Animal Crossing so special, so sensational, so beloved by such a wide variety of people, is that it is very idealized. You get to move and have a fresh start. Who doesn't love a fresh start? You get to move to a place where even though it's all new and it's all fresh, everybody wants to be a little community. There's a lot of freedom in the gameplay. You have the choice to focus on decorating or relationships with your villagers or collecting or making money. You have the ability to pay off your loans, which feels like such a fantasy and a dream. You feel like you're in control over your life whenever, you know, your Animal Crossing life, which is an idealized version of your real life, probably. So as far as the setting goes, I could see us going back to a forest for some nostalgia. We've all really been riding that nostalgia train lately, so I can see that happening. Or I could see us going somewhere completely new, like caves, underwater, outer space. I want to talk about outer space more because I absolutely did not come up with this idea on my own. I have tried not to watch anyone else's videos on predictions or ideas for the next Animal Crossing game because I just wanted to formulate everything in my little Jill brain exactly how my little Jill brain would do it without a ton of influence. But of course, I watch a lot of Animal Crossing content and I really love Koromura's videos. She has mentioned several times that she thinks the next game will take place in outer space. And I was like, yeah. And that little earworm just stuck with me. And I kept thinking about it. And I would love that. It wouldn't be terribly far-fetched for the series as a whole either, because I've watched the Animal Crossing anime and Gulliver was kind of an alien in that. I think he has had spaceships in previous games, so it's not out of the realm of possibility as far as that goes. And I kept coming up with fun ideas for it. Villager hunting has been huge, and I don't see that going away for the next game. So what if we, instead of island hopping, were planet hopping? And what if we had one big planet or quite a few little planets to decorate? And I'm picturing the planets being like sphere walking in Super Mario Galaxy. But imagine much bigger. And imagine you're able to really change the orientation so whatever you're decorating or working on can be upright. How cool would that be? In New Horizons, our islands are kind of curved that way. Things that are in the background aren't loaded in all the time. And I don't know, I can really see us having a planet to decorate and having our spaceship be our house, kind of like our camper in Pocket Camp, and then jumping from small island to small island. And heck, maybe we can even have a few small planets circling our main planet. That way you can have a few different themes here and there. And then when the villagers come move onto your island, they just like park their spaceship on your island. Sorry, your planet. I'm saying island. I'm stuck. I'm stuck on New Horizons. It would be so fun and so cool, and there could just be this beautiful starry sky behind you all the time, or like beautiful puffy white clouds behind you all the time. You know, depending on if it's day or night, there could be so many cool things. You could have a moon that circles your island, and that's where Celeste shows up. The ideas are endless, and I really like the idea of sphere walking. Those are my little brain worms for settings. Next on my list, it just says multiple saves, please. With the Switch 2 coming out, this is a wonderful opportunity for a lot of people who maybe didn't want to buy a second Switch, but are planning on buying like a whole like new console to have a second island on New Horizons. I hate that we can only have one island per Switch, and I can't help but feel like that was driven by financial greed reasons. Why else? Why else would it be that way? So many other games let you have multiple save files. Animal Crossing is a big console seller, and if you have to share your island with your roommate, your siblings, you know, you really don't want to, because whoever starts it is the only person who can move the story along. It kind of feels like everybody else is just living on your island. They probably were also just trying to push the taking turns multiplayer, but I didn't like it. It felt like a greedy decision. I worked at GameStop for a little while, and we had tons of parents coming in who were like, yeah, my kids are kind of fighting over the Switch and islands, and so I'm going to buy my other kid a Switch Lite to try to solve that problem. And so then they have to buy another Switch and another copy of Animal Crossing. It felt crappy. It felt bad. So multiple saves absolutely is a must. I really hope that Nintendo is hearing us cry out for that. I can't just afford to buy extra Switches just because I want to play the game again. And also, I don't want to delete my island that I have put so much love and time and effort into. So we're at a standstill, you know? And how many YouTubers and content creators or just random people in your life do you know who have an extra Switch for this reason? I can think of several YouTubers off the top of my head who have multiple Switches for creating more content in Animal Crossing. And there's just absolutely no reason at all for me personally to buy a second Switch. So I really just felt very stuck with one island, and that was that. I do think that having the Switch 2 will open up a lot of opportunity for people to have a second New Horizons island, because where I am not going to buy a second of the same console, I will buy a completely new console. So it is pretty cool that Switch games will work on the Switch 2 as far as I have heard. And I think that'll give a lot of people a chance to start over in New Horizons who wouldn't normally, because I mean, New Horizons is still great. I can't imagine that the next game is going to make me not want to go back to New Horizons ever. I know a lot of people, I never ever played the older games, but I know a lot of people who did start with the older games still go back to them for like fun nostalgia. All right, I've been whining about multiple saves long enough. What's next on my list? Villagers. Okay. So tons of people have complaints about this. Tons of people think that they are boring and they just collect them and then don't do anything with them and they don't have enough dialogue. And I agree that they are boring. I think Nintendo has heard our cries about that, but I don't need just a crap load of dialogue for every villager in the game. I don't want to just sit around and read a bunch of dialogue and that be the only thing that makes them interesting or entertaining to have around. What I want is more true interactions. Have them invite me on a picnic and I have to make certain dishes and then talk to them again before we have this picnic. Have them have more interactions with each other. Maybe I can set them up on hangouts with each other and they can have best friends and, you know, all kinds of stuff. Because some of the most fun that I have with my villagers is when they have fights with each other or, you know, when they interact with one another. I love walking up on them having conversations. Another idea that I had that is completely ridiculous, and I'm sure other people have had this idea as well, is creating a custom villager. How cool would it be to just choose like the base body and just get like a white blank base and customize it like we do with, you know, custom designs and custom clothes in Animal Crossing now? How cool would it be? You can make your own pet. I can make my cats. And it would really feel like a callback to Blanca from older games, so that would be really cool too. Maybe Nintendo could even have a contest like who made the best custom villager, and then in the next game, or like if they release new villagers partway through the game, then you get your villager released as an official villager. That would be really cool. This is totally far-fetched. I know, this is just me having fun ideas. The new villagers this go around went over super well, and I think that they helped Nintendo sell a butt ton of amiibo cards. I mean a metric butt ton, a huge amount. So I was thinking, what if we didn't just add new villagers? What if we added an entire new villager type? I have some ideas. I think bats could be really cool. Turtles are on my list, and something that I would love to see. So we have bears and we have cubs, which are small bears. What if we had dogs and pups? Huh? We could have little doggies running around. We could do the same thing with cats. We could have cats, we have kittens or kitties or whatever you want to talk. It would be great. It'd be so cute. I've also been thinking that the octopi feel so out of place. There are no other like water creature villagers really. So why don't we add water creatures? We could have whales. We could have whales. Snails, anything else that feels like a little different. Because right now the octopi just feel a little awkward. They feel a little out of place. I think Nintendo could absolutely make that work. And getting away from completely new villager types, I really like the animals that are made to look like not quite the same species as the rest of them. Like how Poppy is a horse, but he's an okapi, you know? So what if they had an anteater, but they did them up in black and white, like a Malayan tapir? I would love that. I would love that so much. Some cuter birds, honestly, might be nice too. I can't even think of one bird that I really like right now. Now, I have never played the older games, so I don't miss the kind of left out or forgotten villagers, but I kind of don't get it. We have so many villagers in the game. So why are you just gonna pick a handful to chuck out every once in a while? Like that's somebody's favorite villager you're chucking out, bro. I would like some old villagers to come back with a facelift, particularly Carrot the hippo. She is so cute. I would snatch her up. I would have her on my island in a heartbeat. She is adorable. Give us Carrot the hippo back. So for villagers, I have a bajillion fun ideas of villagers that they could make, but mostly I just want them to make them fun. I want them to have tasks and jobs and something to do with them. I don't want to just sit around and talk to them over and over again. I don't care if they add in quadruple the dialogue they have now. I'm not just going to sit around and talk to them just because. I want the talking to them to feel a little fresh, but I mostly want there to be real mechanics that involve the villagers. One more thing on villagers. They could add subtypes to the personalities. I think adding a whole new personality or changing a bunch of personalities might upset some people. I mean, I would be really upset if Roscoe wasn't a cranky anymore all of a sudden. The next thing on my list says full control. We have full control over most everything on our island, and I would hate to step back from that. I know a lot of people love that lack of control in older games, how the gameplay was different because of that. But now that we've had it, I think I would hate to not have it. And I don't have the nostalgia for the lack of control. And lots of other people don't have the nostalgia for the lack of control either. because huge portion of the player base of Animal Crossing is completely new to the series, like me. And I think that Nintendo really wants to maximize on that. So I don't know what percentage of the player base the people who have nostalgia and who are longtime fans of the IP are, but I would imagine that it's a bit smaller of a percentage than we realize. So I want those nostalgic things for other people, but I can't see us losing any control. In fact, I see us eventually getting more control, being able to change how resident services looks and stuff like that. So that's my little thoughts there. Up next on my list, we have cooking and farming. I made a farm to have a cute farm on my island, and I cooked a few items to decorate with, and that was that. There never really felt like a reason to cook more, and honestly, if I was going to gather up and use a bunch of ingredients to cook for energy, I might as well just eat the ingredients. I would have liked there to be more of a reason to use this mechanic, since it was a whole new mechanic added. Let me run a produce stall. Let me sell food items, or, for real to my villagers. I could host a picnic or host birthdays. I mentioned in the villagers part of my list how they could run up to you and ask you to go on a picnic or something, and then you have to craft this food and cook this food and bring it back to them. And you can't go until you make, they're like, oh, I've been loving blueberry pancakes lately. I'd love to have some. And then you can be like, I could make you some and we could have a picnic. And they'd be like, wow, that's great. Come talk to me when you have blueberry pancakes and I'll get the lemonade or whatever. It would be great. So as far as cooking and farming go, I really don't care whether they stay in the next game or not. If they stay in the next game, great. Just make me have a reason to actually use that entire mechanic. And if they don't, whatever mechanic they're replaced with, please make me feel like I have a reason to use that mechanic. Throwing in a bunch of mechanics just for the sake of, look, our game has cooking and farming. If they don't really add to the gameplay, it feels like a small distraction, and that's it. Oh, the next thing on my list is so random. More first person. We can go into first person around our islands and our homes with the camera, and now that I have had a taste of that, I want more. Give me VR Animal Crossing. I want to live in my Animal Crossing world. No, but seriously, I really did enjoy the first person. These items are so detailed, so beautiful. They put so much work into them. Being able to go into first person and really zoom in and really immerse myself and really look at them was really great, and it made for a lot of great photo ops. So I definitely do not want an entire Animal Crossing game in first person. That would be horrible. And I understand why we couldn't do like a full rotation around our entire island in first person the way we could inside rooms. I understand completely. But if we plan it in advance, maybe next game we can. That it would just be really fun. Next up, we have mini games / more to do with friends. I'm just going to throw these two in together. I have no nostalgia for mini games of the past, but I did find it weird that there wasn't a single mini game in this. So anything to do that's, something like that. And really, I would prefer just more to do with our friends in general. Nintendo loves the community aspect of gaming. They want us to pay for Nintendo Online subscriptions to be able to go over to our friends' islands and all kinds of stuff. And first of all, I have feelings on that, the Nintendo Online subscription, but we're not here to talk about that. Second of all, if you're going to allow me to play with my friends, let me play with my friends. In the beginning, you had to have friends to get all the different types of fruit. You still have to get all the different types of fruit, to get different color variations before we had Cyrus. Cyrus has really made that point moot, though. So basically, your friends were there for collecting a few specific things. And that was it. They could come over to your island and walk around. And, they could catch fish or bugs, but they can do that on their own island. So give us something to do with our friends. Let us give them special permission to terraform or decorate in general. Let us give them a like a timed challenge to decorate one of the rooms in our house. We could host their birthday. Imagine if we could cook a bunch of dishes and wrap up a bunch of presents and have them come over on their birthday or a day that like we invite them with a letter for their birthday and host a party for them. That would be so cool. I know that Animal Crossing was originally, at the very, very, very beginning, meant to be a dungeon crawler. So what if we had some missions or mazes or caves that we could do with our friends? What if we both got to bring only one or two of our animal villagers along with us, and we could just go through the maze and collect resources and help each other out? It would be so fun. Something to do together. In previous games, you were able to send messages in a bottle and they could wash up on your friends' beaches. Let me do that again. Let me send, special balloon flying presents around. That could be really cool, actually. There could be a lot that could do with that. What if you could send something out in a balloon and then every person that has visited your island within the past 6 months has a chance of having it, happen upon their island? And it could be a different color and it could just kind of persistently show up here and there until they shoot it down. It could be so fun. But if Nintendo expects me to do the whole Nintendo Online thing again, they're gonna have to make it worth my buck, okay? Because it kind of wasn't this last go around, and with them being stingy with multiple islands and things like that, they're big and they put out some good stuff. But people are kind of getting tired of, getting the short end of the stick for finance reasons. So I just glanced down at my list and the next thing says eyebrows. ... Seriously, Nintendo? So apparently having eyebrows is a privilege in this game and not just a default. Enough said. I don't want to have to make a special face paint and wear that. Can we just bake some eyebrows into the character creation? Now every time I see my little character's icon, she jump scares me because she doesn't have any eyebrows. I mean, heck, you can even give us the option to go eyebrowless if we want to, but just give us 5 decent looking pairs of eyebrows to have and a potential option for no eyebrows in case people really just want to go browless. But why? Why the no eyebrows? I don't know. Also, look at me. Nintendo, look at me. If this mouth is not in the next game, I will be upset. This is how I've gotten used to seeing my character. I want these eyes, this nose, this mouth. Look at me. Please. I'm asking, please. I'm begging. All right, now that I'm done screaming about eyebrows, let's move on to this one. Previous NPCs. This is not a me thing. This is people who have the nostalgia thing. I don't think it would be super hard to add previous NPCs back, and I think it would make a lot of longtime fans happy, and that's that. I have no nostalgia for them, but I want to see the people who do get what they want and be happy. So next on my list, Pocket Camp. Okay, so Pocket Camp does a really good job of having these limited time events like scavenger hunts and, stuff like that. New Horizons does that too. They have the summer shells, the goodies falling from the trees, stuff like that. I want to see more of that in the next game. I love having a reason it's cherry blossom season, I gotta log in. Anything little like that is just a little oomph, a little something different from the everyday that just keeps you coming back is nice. There could be seasonal events with villagers. Maybe there's picnic season where they're more likely to ask you on a picnic. Maybe there's other seasons. I don't really care what it is, but I do hope to see those kind of limited time fun things in the future. Let's see. Ah, yes. Next on my list of demands, I think something for the cozy everyday, almost like cozy everyday utility would be great. A journal, a calendar, a clock, something for the cozy everyday cutesy gamer to have on their desk. I'm doing a horrible job of explaining what I want here. I was really disappointed to see that the Switch dock covered up the front of the Switch again. Because, I don't know, I don't feel like the Switch looks super cute on your desk. And I don't know, I kind of was hoping it was going to have a clear front. And that way, whatever game you were playing or whatever game you had played most recently, it would display a little bit of art or the time and some characters around it for any like big titles. You know, even if they just did Mario, Pikmin, Yoshi, Animal Crossing, you know, they're big things. And you can just like pick from a few different clock faces for it to have out, or, you know, just something, anything. The specialty docks were nice, but I didn't get one because I bought a Switch right at the very beginning and I wasn't going to buy another Switch just for a fancy dock. So something to make it look nice on my desk. And remember, these are not realistic asks. These are just wish list ideas, wants, thoughts, random ideas. Ah, yes. Here we come to the final thing on my list, which literally says, golden tools, why the do they break? And I think that speaks for itself. The golden tools don't seem to be breakable in older games, and it doesn't really feel like a huge accomplishment to get them if I have to keep expending gold, literal gold, over and over and over again to keep remaking them because they break. My pole vault is made out of regular freaking wood, and she doesn't break, and I put my entire body weight on that thing. Why does my golden shovel that I worked so hard to get break? And when my golden tools, like my first ones, broke, I didn't even bother making new ones because I can just buy new ones for dummy cheap and not have to expend gold, literal gold. I'd rather save my literal gold for crafting golden statues of dung beetles or, you know, whatever. So in the next game, like tools breaking in general seems pretty annoying for a lot of people. I don't love it, but the golden tools, hello. All right, I'm getting too heated about these tools. Another thing that they could take out of Pocket Camp's book is handheld items. We had a few in New Horizons, but I really like them and I wouldn't mind having a few more. And that does it. Again, this was just a fun list, legitimately just for fun. Some ideas, some random, you know, out there ideas that are never going to happen. Maybe one or two predictions just based on my thoughts and nothing else. No like leaks or anything. So this video has been really fun to make. It's been fun to just speculate about the next game now that it kind of actually feels within reach. I would love to hear your thoughts, your ideas, anything that you think that you would want in the next game, even if it is completely out there and so far-fetched and never going to happen. I want to hear it. So let me know down below. Thank you for watching. Subscribe if you're feeling like it. I am really close to getting monetized, so I'm really excited about that. And have a great day. Bye.